UFO UAP disclosure continues to develop as we enter the end of 2023. There are a number of recent developments that have been pushing the narrative forward, and things are beginning to get a little bit more interesting. Arrow director Sean Kirkpatrick will be stepping down. There will be a new director. David Grusch, with the help of Congressman Eric Burleson, will now be cleared to enter a skiff and talk to members of Congress and give them specific details about the locations and names of UFO crash retrieval and reverse engineering programs. A recent meme popping up in the last week is the idea that aliens or extraterrestrials or whatever beings are behind the UFO UAP phenomenon are humans from the future. And I've seen this pop up now in two large YouTube channels feed. One is Jesse Michaels, who was the one YouTube channel that got David Grusch to come and do a sort of more informal interview. And it's really the only at-length interview that Grusch has given besides the News Nation interview. Recently, Jesse Michaels, 3 days ago, published a video, Are Aliens Just Future Humans?, featuring David Grusch and Mike Masters. In scanning through the video, we see that David Grusch is barely in it, and it's clips from the first interview. So it's a bit misleading. However, Jesse Michaels is putting forth an argument for the case that aliens are future humans time traveling. He has a big audience. He obviously has a platform that allowed David Grusch to come on and talk about the issue. So certainly we can judge that this channel has big influence in shaping public opinion for the people who are looking into this. Another channel that came up just a couple hours ago is building on this same theme with a bit of a negative twist, particularly in the titling, Somber Future of Mankind and Time Travel Connection. And this is with Ross Coulthart, who is seen publicly as a leading authority on this in the fact that he's a journalist that claims he has a number of insider contacts and has been in contact with them as he's written about this topic for a long time now, and that he knows people on the inside now who are giving him certain information, such as where buildings are, what they're used for, and in this case, talking about time travel and the connection with aliens being future humans traveling in time to communicate with us. Coulthart has always seemed to have a bit of a attitude or perception of fear regarding the UFO, UAP, alien issue, and seems to always by default caution against things that could make us afraid or things that could shatter our conception of life and reality. And that's kind of what he's conveying here in this brief clip from Theories of Everything with Kurt Jamungal. And I'm not saying that name right, I'm sure. But he again has a large following as well, 250,000 subscribers. So we see this meme is spreading now, this idea of aliens being future humans. And I just find it interesting because I wonder if that is not something, a meme that was planted as a way to maybe test the public perception. If we were to think about it, that perhaps there are agencies or actors involved through the intelligence networks in how to feed this information and what information to feed to the public, and perhaps even what information that may not be true. If we think about it, it may be for most people, easier to accept that aliens are us from the future if we can get people to accept the admittedly wild and far-fetched, hard-to-believe notion that time travel is possible. Then it would be easy for people, the masses, to accept that aliens are future humans visiting us. This would serve another purpose, to perhaps soften the blow and the existential shock that would come from the reality being officially put forth that aliens do in fact exist. There are other intelligent life forms. We live in a populated universe, so to speak. Humans have this idea of the other, and for whatever reason, it seems to be a repeating pattern in human history, is viewing how we're different from other people and often making the other the enemy. Perhaps it would cause unpredictable reactions from the masses if it's told right away that they are distinct, unique life forms that are non-human. So why now are these memes popping up as we're inching closer and closer to disclosure, as we're perhaps entering the year of 2024 where something major comes out and humanity takes a step forward in its knowledge of its place in the universe? Is this to soften the blow? Is this to get people to accept it more? Because maybe it's psychologically easier to say, oh, that's us from a far time in the future. It's not some other thing. We can speculate that this is possible. At the very least, I do find it significant that there are multiple channels now spreading this kind of meme, and we can only conjecture if there is a hidden force behind that to spread that idea to humans and perhaps give us a partially true or false disclosure. I certainly think it's possible that time travel could account for some of the things people have seen and encountered over the years. But I don't believe that it is the only explanation, and the literature and the data would seem to suggest that there are a variety of life forms and there are a variety of intelligences and phenomena that we don't understand, but that are outside of our own human civilization as we know it here on Earth. It could just be a coincidence that people are conjecturing of different possibilities, but I think we have to be careful of what kind of information and viewpoints we're receiving from popular, larger YouTube channel outlets, which for sure intelligence agencies to some extent have identified as mediums for mass communication and for alternative viewpoints about the official narrative of history and current events. It's getting interesting. Let's keep our head on a swivel. We have to make sure that we always look at information with a critical mind and ask the important questions and put it all into the larger context. Let's see how this develops and if any other theories will emerge.